Good morning. If I could have your attention in the media center. Get ready to start a press conference this morning hosted by the Joey Logano Foundation and Folds of Honor. Now, early this year, March 1st, Joey made a promise to donate his winnings to Folds of Honor had he won the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 race in Atlanta. Joining Joey on stage is Major Dan Rooney, three-time Tour of Duty F-16 fighter pilot and PGA professional who founded Folds of Honor. Also joining us today is the Swegger family from Oklahoma, who you'll hear about shortly.
You want to scoot down?
No, they can stand. Yep.
This is hard.
Right in the seat here.
Please find a seat. We'll get all set here and to share today's announcement. It is my pleasure to introduce you the driver of the number 22 Team Penske Ford, Joey Logano.
Hey guys. When we were in Atlanta a few weeks ago, it was the Folds of Honor 500 in Atlanta, and before the race started, I tried to attend the MRO chapel service before the race after the driver's meeting. Major Dan was there, and he told an amazing story about how the Folds of Honor Foundation started up, what he was doing with it, and it kind of hit a spot for me. And I was sitting there with my wife Brittany. I was like, man, this is an amazing story, and it really lines up perfect with what we do with the Joey Logano Foundation. The Joey Logano Foundation is based on second chances. That's our mission, is giving someone a second chance. So for people that work really hard, that need a little help to get back getting their life on track again, whether it's natural disasters, a lot of military stuff. It's pretty wide on the people that we can help with what we've done with the foundation. And this year is one of those years that we're trying to pick it up a notch and trying to give away a lot more money. So kind of spur of the moment, I walked up to Major Dan before the race. I think it was on driver intros at this point. Then I said, hey, if we win the race today, I'm going to donate my winnings to you. And unfortunately, we didn't win. I think we finished fourth.
You finished fourth, and you were in the lead a long
Yeah,
time.
we were close. But even when we were done, I still wanted to do something with the Folds of Honor, just because everything that happened that day and everything, all the stories that I heard and what they do. So the Joey Logano Foundation decided to write a check out for $50,000 to the Folds of Honor, and something we wanted to do to help give a scholarship to some great families for what they do. And I'll let Major Dan talk a little bit more about kind of the Folds of Honor, and maybe share some of the same story that I heard that day in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, obviously, Joey, thanks for the opportunity. As an organization, our commitment is to leave no family behind on the field of battle. I had the opportunity to meet lots of folks for the first time in NASCAR in March, and we have been blown away just by the unapologetic, patriotic spirit that permeates NASCAR. I mean, it's just God-fearing, country-loving, flag-waving, great Americans. And Joey's a perfect example of what came out of that race. Things in life when reality exceeds your dreams. And when he came up and said, hey, I'd like to make a donation, but more importantly, and to Joey's credit, he said, I just don't want to give a check. I want to be involved. And those are two very different things. We know in life how easy it is to write a check and walk off. But to Joey's credit, our commitment together is to found the Joey Logano Folds of Honor Scholarship Fund, and he's obviously making the $50,000 donation to start that. But to be able to, as the season goes on, challenge his fans, his sponsors to come alongside of us as wingmen, if you will, and grow this, so we have the opportunity to pay that forward each and every year and come back and say, here are the names of the families that have been impacted, the schools that they're going to, and we like to say at Folds of Honor, we're changing this country one story at a time. And that's why we have the Swegger family with us here, and the triplets, and probably let them share a little of their story. But as an organization this year, we'll award our 10,000 scholarship. And I look at the mission that God gave me 7.5 years ago when I started this above my garage in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, to be sitting next to one of the great drivers in NASCAR. Just to be affiliated is really humbling, and so with that, as I said, it's about the stories and the lives we're able to change. Do you want me to throw it over to Claudia? Is that cool? As representing now north of what'll be 10,000 scholarships awarded. Ronnie and Claudia and the twins have been with us for several years now and are just a great example of Sergeant Swager. You know, his commitment. I hope he'll share a little of his story with you about the families we help and what we do.
Mine doesn't work.
Oh, sure.
Well, I'll just start with
Okay.
when Ronnie was medically retired from the military, we moved back from Fort Bragg, North Carolina to Oklahoma, where we both grew up. And all he wanted to do was escape from society. And so he moved us to a hilltop in the middle of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, no neighbors. And the boys were 2. And that was his way of escaping from everything that he had experienced in war. War comes home with our soldiers. And so we were doing our part to help him heal. There was a burden of how to provide for triplets. Diapers are very expensive, so you can imagine what college tuition is going to be for 3 of them. When they were 2 years old, a friend of mine gave us some information about the Folds of Honor, and we applied, and they were very excited to receive the Future Youth Scholarship. And just lifting that burden off of my husband and just being able to provide for our family put us back on the path of healing and put him on the path of healing and just kind of helped him come down from that mountaintop. And I like to think of, there's a quote by the Dalai Lama about a pebble being thrown in a pond and the ripple effect it starts. And the Folds of Honor was that ripple effect for our family. That scholarship, even though it has a monetary value, what it did for our family was priceless. It provided a path of healing for our family that continues daily. And we're so honored to be a part of the Folds of Honor family. Once you receive the scholarship, it's not just a scholarship. You are a part of their family. And it's great patriots like Joey that are helping to continue the Folds of Honor mission by providing scholarships for future military families. We're just very grateful and very honored to be here and to be a part of the Folds of Honor family. And just from me and from other military families like us, thank you for recognizing my husband's service, for what he's done for our country, and to put us back on a healing path. It is life-changing. Your turn.
My name's Ronnie Swager. I spent about 15 years in the military. I enjoyed my service greatly. I was a Green Beret, did multiple tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And, you know, like she said, war does come home with you. At the first, I denied it, but it did. When I crawled up on top of that mountain and disappeared for years, what got me off that mountain is when I got involved with the Folds of Honor. They needed someone to spread the word about the Folds, and I went out and I flew all over the country and spread the word. I became the scholarship advocate, and that reintroduced me to some old teammates, got me involved with the Special Operations Command, the Combat Wounded, the Valorous. It really was healing for me just to be involved with the Folds. And the more I healed, the more I wanted to get involved. So that spider web effect, that pebble that was thrown into the water by Dan Rooney, I mean, it flowed through me, and it helped other people, and it just continues to flow. Here we are today, instead on top of a hill, because of the Folds of Honor and Dan Rooney. It's been a phenomenal turn of events, and we're so lucky to be where we all are now, instead on top of that hill. And we were never alone. We had God and each other, but it's so nice to have the Folds of Honor family back us now. Thanks, Dan. That hill was in Kenwood, Oklahoma, and we're surrounded by about 30,000 acres of government land. So it was a great place to disappear.
The middle of nowhere with 3 2-year-olds in diapers.
We might have time to take some questions here when we're finished here, but right now we'd like to have the official presentation of the check. Swager family, please stay on stage with Major Rooney. Joey, would you like to do the honors and present your foundation's donation?
Driving home so I can take that check with me.
Take it to the bank.
Thanks, brother.
you guys see?
You guys can hold
Get
the
your head
chair.
over
You
it.
guys can move the chair.
Come on here.
So, one of the moments, I call them synchronicity, chance for purpose, for this fund specifically right now is, as an organization, we'll put out nearly $13 million in aid for this semester coming up in the fall. But directly as a result of our NASCAR broadcast on Fox, our website traffic went up over 2,000%, and it attributed to another 2,500 applications for military families who were watching NASCAR at home and found out about this assistance that was available. And thankfully, of that group, we're able to help about another 1,500 more, with over 1,000 approved applications from military families requesting financial aid to go to school this year that we're not able to fund. That's nearly $5 million in aid. And so the fact that this donation comes when it does, this will immediately go out the door to fund additional scholarships. So this is 10 lives that will start changing this fall together. And my hope and prayer for all of us is that through Joey and the platform that he's been blessed with, that we're going to get to change hundreds of lives together.
Thank you.
We got just a couple of minutes here. And Stan, I saw your hand go up, so have time for maybe one or two. We've got a schedule to Stan. Stan, go ahead.
I'll try to make this quick. This question is for the three young men standing there. In one word, how do you feel about your father and mother?
One word. What'd you say about Mom and Dad? Speak.
In one word, how do you feel?
Happy. Happy.
Put them on the spot.
Someone's not happy.
Proud.
Proud. Love it.
We've got time for one more right here.
Joey, can I ask you a racing question real quick?
Sure.
Last year we saw some tire issues that were here in the fall race. Goodyear hasn't made any real big changes coming back this time. The compounds are the same. What are your thoughts here at Kansas? Any concerns about tires with a green track?
I believe they added some tread cap to it, so I think the tread's a little bit thicker, which I think, I guess, is their attempt to fix this. So, I think anytime we come to Kansas, we're a little bit nervous about tires, just because of what we've seen in the past and a lot of what happened here in the fall race, where a lot of the fast cars were blowing right fronts out. So, I guess it makes you a little bit nervous, but at the same time, we put our faith in the Goodyear that they'll make the right decisions, and we feel fine about it. Our 22 car didn't have a problem last time, but I know we were on the verge of it because a lot of cars were. So I don't think it's something that obviously something we'll keep in mind throughout today in practice, and where we're setting up our cambers and air pressures and all that, and making sure we have that in mind.
All right. Always on time. Jeff Gordon is here, so don't move. We'll let these folks get off the stage, and Jeff's ready for his presser coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.